Hello, my creepies, and welcome back to the mortuary. I am so excited to do this video for you today. Over the weekend, we know that Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022 hit Netflix, and I watched it. I watched it 2 times. I did 2 times, and I thoroughly enjoyed the film. In this video for you today, I will be going over my thoughts on the film, a review as well. But forewarning, there will be spoilers. So if you have yet to see Texas Chainsaw Massacre on Netflix, please go and watch that first. I don't want to ruin your movie for you. You can always watch this later. I really enjoyed it. I watched it twice, like I said, and I thought it was fabulous for what it was, right? Now, for those of you, before we get into this, I need introductions to those of you who are just stumbling in here. I am ReAnimateHer, the queen of Scream, and this is my review and insights on Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022. I'm also rocking my Merkins Killer with Attitude tea. Yes, the Merkins recently dropped a brand new video. You can check it out right here. And yes, I am drinking coffee today. This is coffee from Starbucks. It's espresso. Bought it at the store. I like to switch my coffees up. Sometimes I get local, sometimes I order from places. But yes, delicious. And I drink it black. But anyways, enough of that. Let's get into Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now, we all know it's on Netflix. It is about an hour and 23 minutes. This right here, I had an issue with as well. It felt really short to me. The writers and the screenplay. So Chris Thomas Devlin did the screenplay, Fede Alvarez a story, and Rodo, I'm going to kill his last name, Sayaguez story as well. Sorry bad about your last name. It's almost impossible to pronounce. Then it was directed by David Blue Garcia. Now, there were previous directors on this film beforehand. It was two brothers, actually, that were directing this film. And for whatever reason, they were abruptly pulled off, and David Blue Garcia was put in. Now, I do know that the first week of the production of this film was done in Bulgaria, and the two brothers were Ryan Tohill and Andy Tohill. Yeah, and they split, I think, the first week of the production. So this film kind of had a rocky start to begin with. And yeah, take that out because not everyone knows about, the behind the scenes stuff. Usually nobody really knows about behind the scenes stuff that goes on. But let's dive into the plot itself. After nearly 50 years of hiding, Leatherface returns to terrorize a group of idealistic young friends who accidentally disrupt his carefully shielded world in a remote Texas town. Now, if you are directly going off of 74 right into this one, kind of makes sense. We definitely know that the family, runs away, goes into hiding, and we don't really hear from them until part 2, that crazy wild ride of a film. This is also where we get to meet Leatherface's love interest. Yes. Now, Now, I heard a lot of people complain about, we haven't seen the family, we haven't seen this, we haven't seen that, we didn't see any hooking. All right. I understand. Leatherface, you see Leatherface, you think about the family, you think about the meat hooks and the big sliding, opening up the door and seeing this massive human being there. I understand that. I get that. But personally, I really enjoyed seeing it focus on Bubba. Bubba is the reason why it's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The family always added a bit of craziness and adventure and really scary effects to the family. But in all, it's about Bubba. And I really did enjoy the fact that this was specifically about Bubba. Now, you may be questioning yourself, where did he get the name Bubba from? You hear it in the first one, but it really came in part 2, Chop Top called Leatherface Bubba. I really liked the cinematography of the film as well. That's something I really enjoyed. I loved the visuals. Yeah, the visuals were great. And I will tell you, that sunflower farm, that's kind of creepy in itself. Those sunflowers don't look very happy. I mean, they're dead, right? So they doesn't look like a happy place that I want to be trucking through. Mm. So the cinematography was really nice. I really enjoyed the part where Leatherface was going outside and he's in this like alleyway or covered section outside of this building, and it's raining, and he's standing there, and they give a back view of him, and he's just standing there with his chainsaw. Mm. I really love that. I love the fact that he flung that chainsaw so many friggin' times. Like, that was amazing. And the dance. So they did bring a lot of Bubba to this film, even though his family was left behind. There was no hooking. Yeah, okay, cannibal family. He left a lot of meat laying around, but who's to say he actually left it laying around? Right? We don't know what happened from the time he went back to the house. He could have cleaned up that whole area with all that meat, and that meat's lasting him several years. We know for a fact there are no cops. He killed the two cops that were there. Ain't nobody got to call out. By the time the chick goes there, the final girl gets out and actually goes somewhere where there's cops, he's got plenty of fucking meat. Just because we didn't see it doesn't mean he didn't pick it up. Now, the opening scene blows me away. And the opening scene that blows me away is the broken arm and being murdered by your own bone in your friggin' neck. I was blown away by that. Like, that really captured me in this film. What also captured me was the fact that you see the road sign, the Harlow road sign, where it says Harlow population 1974. You didn't clue in, that was the year Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre was released. Even though the film takes place in 1973, it was released in 74, and this is nearly 50 years later. What I also really liked is John Larroquette. He did the narration in the first one, and he's back like 48 years later to do this one. So I thought that was kind of cool tidbits. The gore was beautiful. Beautiful. I loved the kill scenes. Like I said, right off the bat, the very first one where he snaps his hand, like snaps this part, and then literally fucking stabs him in the goddamn throat. I was enthralled by that. That got me. Watching him cut the face off of his mother. Like, oh my God. Now, that was great. The mask was pretty scary in its own right. I love the death. I love the blood. Now, you can understand why a boy, a man who has mental issues, stopped killing all that time from 73 all the way to now. He had his mother or a mother-like figure to take care of him. And we do know that Bubba had issues in the first one. We know this. It's plain to see. It's plain as day. I mean, the whole family had friggin' issues, but Bubba himself, he had the majority of the issues. And technically, in a grown man body, he was still like an 8-year-old boy. And so if you take that from 73 and you have him raised by a woman who is motherly towards him, who's taking care of him, who is loving him, who is protecting him. He sees this. He understands that this woman is protecting him. His reasons for not killing is because he had a guardian angel watching over him. That was the whole reason he went dormant from there to there, right? I heard a lot of people complain about that. And it's like, if a wild beast was tamed because of the trainer, it's not going to do its wild beastly things, right? Same thing goes for Leatherface. Leatherface Bubba, he's not going to be on a rampage murdering when he has someone nurturing and loving him and keeping an eye on him. You notice they hid his chainsaw. She had a lot of the information hidden as well. She protected him because she knew that he wasn't capable of protecting himself. And so he laid dormant all that time. And then to have his mother, to him, in his eyes, violently taken from her by strangers that came into their home, and then cops forcibly removing her, causing her to have that heart attack and die. you've got to remember, he is not processing this like a normal human being. He is processing this as a traumatized boy and not a man. He sees the woman who has sacrificed everything and who is protecting him being brutalized in front of him. You may not think she's being brutalized, but for someone with his mental capacity, that's all he's seeing. And the fact that she dies, that kicks it right off for him that, now these motherfuckers have to die. And I completely agree with him. I agree with him. They did not have the rights to go in there and do that. What they did and how they did it was very rude and crude. I'm glad they all died. My hopes for this film, like my predictions before I seen it, was I wanted Sally Hardesty to die. I know I sound like a bitch, but I wanted Sally to die. I wanted all of them to die. I did not want a final girl. There's not many films that do final girls, not many films that have everybody dead. And I like those. I mean, okay, don't get me wrong. I enjoy final girls, but I still would rather see everybody dead. That's just me. And I was hoping that was going to bring this, but it didn't. They left one alive. What I did not like, the acting was subpar. Like, it was all right. There was no characters that I found were to remember. You know what I mean? There weren't any memorable characters in the film besides Leatherface himself and Richter. I mean, come on. Richter. Now, but still, he wasn't that memorable. He was a good-looking Texan, and some of his lines in the film, I thought was a fucking riot. I did feel the story moved a little too quick in certain areas, and I honestly believe Sally's part in this film was wasted. I do, 100%. She's a legacy. She is the only one to escape this family, the only one. And the way they wrote her in and wrote her out, I was very disappointed with. I would have rather seen more story with Sally than the final girl. Fuck, I don't even remember the final girl's name. That's how unrememberable she is for me. I also didn't need the tragic story of a final girl. I didn't need that. I don't know what's up with today's horror and needing to connect to that. I don't know. Anyways, I didn't care for that. I didn't care for their acting. Acting, again, it was okay. If I was going to judge on acting, I would have given it 5 for acting. The kills I really enjoyed. I'd give a 9. I've really seen a lot of influences between Halloween, Friday the 13th. Now, don't get me on the whole, Sally was Laurie Strode. Look, Laurie Strode is Sarah fucking Connor of horror, okay? And that's another topic. I can't stand that. I don't want my final girls being Sarah Connor. And if you don't agree with me, watch fucking Terminator and Terminator 2, and then tell me they didn't steal Laurie Strode's character and persona from Sarah Connor. Now, Sally, I can definitely see Sally being who she is because of what happened in 73 to her. I can see that. Laurie, on the other hand, I honestly can't see her being the Sarah Connor the way she is in Halloween 2018. Maybe I'll do a video on that. If you guys want, let me know down below. I'd also like to know, did you enjoy Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022? And if you did, I want to know some of your favorite parts. Let me know. I want to know down below some of your favorite scenes in that film, what you didn't like, what you liked. Let me know. One of the other things, Sally's story, I could have heard more about it. I could have expanded more on Sally than the girl. I can't even remember her fucking name. I did love her sister's head getting cut off. Like, that was awesome. You knew when they got into that car, it wasn't over. You fucking knew that. They sat back and they're like, yeah. And you knew right there, you're like, nah, you bitches are dead. And I was hoping both bitches would have been dead, but they weren't. The bus scene, that was awesome. Leatherface doesn't give a fuck if your twatty ass wants to cancel him or not. Your ass is canceled. I loved the mass murder on the bus. It was great. Watching the guy die on the ground while she's laying there. I thought that was awesome. I like to see that life leave the body kind of look, kind of feel. The fact that they were locked themselves in the bathroom, all that blood was gushing in, that was really cool. I honestly, I didn't care for a couple of scenes where she takes the chainsaw and hits Bubba in the face and it knocks him backwards. She's tiny and that chainsaw is kind of heavy. And the fact that her hit with that chainsaw kind of threw him back. Now, unless that was staged for him to be thrown back so he doesn't get hurt, chainsaw wasn't on, right? So she didn't like slice his face open. She just hit him with it. Definitely reminded me of like Friday the 13th, and the way he jumped out of the water reminded me of Jason Voorhees. That's the first thing I said in Discord when I was watching with everybody, was that was Jason. That was a scene directly from Jason. Jason Voorhees kills were in this movie. There was a few of them that were in this movie. The whole water scene I didn't care for. It was one of the things that I did like was the house. It was totally different house. Did you know that was the house that you see him walking up to at the end? That was in Rambo. Yes, it was. Now you see Sally Hardesty. She is a badass chick, and you would think she would be a badass chick because of that trauma that she had in '73. She was a Texan to begin with, right? I would have loved to see more of an expansion on that. Some of her lines in the film were ridiculous, but her getting murdered was awesome. Her getting murdered was great. I enjoyed that. The chainsaw to the gut, very good. I mean, she stabbed Bubba in the side. And the fact that Bubba still had his limp, that was awesome. The chainsaw, exact chainsaw from the first one. His limp was great. There's a lot of little nods in this film that hit that first one, which I don't know if many people have noticed. The other thing that I liked was the Richter. His death was violent as fuck, and it was like, oh my god, I love this. Not only right off the bat, he's fighting Bubba. Bubba takes that sledgehammer of his, that mallet, and literally puts his leg backwards. This is your fucking leg, right? His whole leg goes like this, like the complete opposite effing way. And I was like, oh, and that bitch still got up and fought. Then, of course, knocked him down. But that whole mallet to the head, that was awesome. That was amazing. And the fact that he sat there, just smashing him. I would have liked to know more about Richter as well. Like I said, they could have gotten rid of the final girls with no fucking story whatsoever. Like, seriously, get rid of them and focus more on the Sally Hardesty and who the fuck was Richter? You know what I mean? I would have liked to see more on that, and expansion on that. I did feel there was lots of areas in that film that they were rushed through. Sally's scenes, I feel, were rushed. They really dragged on, and other scenes that I think could have gone, they could have just cut out and added, different stuff about Sally or Richter, or backstory, more a little backstory on the woman, because we're thinking that's Leatherface's mom. But I would have liked to expand more on that as well. But I don't want to get too deep into this. It's already about 18 minutes into this video. I know it's kind of long. So I think I'm going to end it right about there. My overall scoring for Texas Chainsaw Massacre is an 8 out of 10. I'm not going to tell you not to see this film. I think that's wrong of influencers, people on the internet telling you not to see a film because they didn't like it. I thoroughly enjoyed it for the film for what it is. I love the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise, even the shitty ones. I do love them. They're a fun film. They're a fun franchise. And if you haven't seen them all, please go out and watch them all. They're definitely at least worth a one watch. At least. And if you don't like it, I mean, you've seen it, right? Like, really, what are you wasting? Not much. But definitely go out and see this film. Check it out. It's on Netflix. Why not, right? What's the worst that can happen? I'd love to hear what your guys' thoughts are on the film down below. If you're part of the Discord, we do have a review section channel. If you do spoilers, there is a spoiler thing that you could use that covers your spoilers inside Discord. So if you're not in there and you want to join in and give us your opinion on the film, please do so. Links are down below. Anywhere where to find me is down below as well. If you want to be part of my Patreon, you can do so. You can help invest and help keeping me create this type of content. And let me know, did you enjoy this? And if you didn't, let me know. Don't just, give me a dislike and just go off and fuck yourself. Go and tell me why you didn't like this or why you liked it. My most favorite scene I'm going to tell you right now is the beginning where he breaks his arm in half and kills him with it. That is my most favorite scene in the film, besides the chainsaw dance. The chainsaw dance is what I really liked. And on this last note, the ending scene actually leaves us with a possible another film as Bubba walks back to the house. And they tried to make that house look very similar to the original home. So I'm really excited to see what they do from there. I'm not really impressed with all these requels, remake sequels. I'm not overly impressed with it, but that's a video for another time. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for being amazing. Keenan, thank you for watching my videos. Bumpiest Normal, you fucking rock. Deadwalk, Harjar, Hundar, Cataly, Rage Quit. Thank you guys for being so awesome. Thank you for all the love and support. And to everybody out there, thank you. Thank you very much. And if you did like this video, let me know. Like it. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. Share this mofo out to everybody. I love your guts, guys. And I will slash us all later. Bye-bye. Want more of your Scream Queen? Of course you do. Who doesn't? Please make sure to check out my other horror-related content down below. And if you want to become part of the undead and hang out with me outside in my cemetery, make sure to become a Patreon member. Check it out right there. Or one of the ghouls here on YouTube by clicking on the join button down below. And if you are craving more of the dark, macabre content that I create, make sure to check out my Instagram. And if you want to rock out with your... No, but if you want to rock out in some awesome horror gear, make sure to check out my merch store right there. Until next time, my creepies, I will slash you later. Keep it real. Bye-bye.